All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Awesome. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the things that guys say that can, well, kind of turn women off in conversations. And we're going to be pulling our insights from this article called Five Things You're Saying That Turn Women Off, and You Don't Even Know It.
Hmm. Sounds a little daunting, maybe even a bit funny, right?
Yeah, a little bit, but really, it's all about uncovering those hidden patterns and just, maybe having a few laughs along the way as we figure this stuff out.
All right, so let's jump right in. What's the first thing that jumps out at you from this article?
Well, the first thing they talk about is compliments, which seems kind of counterintuitive, right?
Yeah, I mean, compliments are supposed to be a good thing, aren't they?
They are, but they can kind of backfire if you're not careful. Like, imagine hearing the same song on repeat over and over again.
Okay, I get that. It gets old, even if it's a good song. Exactly. And it's the same with generic compliments, especially, those ones just focused on looks. They just become background noise after a while.
So, like, instead of saying, "You're beautiful," which I'm sure a lot of women have heard a million times, what should you say?
The article suggests you zero in on something unique, something specific about her that really catches your eye. Instead of just a general comment about her looks, try something like, your energy is infectious, or what's your secret? Or maybe something like, that necklace is stunning, is there a story behind it? Things like that.
So it's more about noticing the details and really engaging with her as an individual, not just reacting to her appearance.
Precisely. Now here's where it gets maybe a little surprising. The article argues that even something as seemingly harmless as apologizing before speaking can be a turnoff.
Really? Apologizing? Why is that?
Well, when you start a conversation with, "Sorry to bother you," or "I don't mean to interrupt," it instantly kind of diminishes your presence.
Right, I see what you mean.
Like, you're almost asking permission to be there, which can make you seem, well, less confident.
So how do you strike that balance, between being polite and assertive?
The article gives a great example. Instead of apologizing for approaching someone, you could try something like, "I couldn't help but notice your smile. It brightens up the whole room."
Okay, I like that. That's smooth.
Right. It sets a completely different tone.
It does. Okay, so we've covered compliments and apologies. What's next on the list of conversational pitfalls?
Let's talk about forcing women to carry the conversation.
Oh, yeah. The dreaded hey, followed by awkward silence.
Exactly. It happens to the best of us. But instead of putting the burden on her to figure out what to say, think about it like building a bridge.
Okay, a bridge. I like that analogy. How do you actually build that bridge in a conversation?
The article calls it built-in engagement. Instead of a bland, "Hey," try something like, "I bet you have an amazing story behind that tattoo. What does it symbolize?" Or, something like, "I'm on a quest for the best coffee in town. Any recommendations?" You give her something to, grab onto and run with.
Yeah, I see what you mean. You're sparking that back and forth energy right from the start. Conversation should feel like a shared journey, not a one-sided interrogation.
Exactly. Now, here's another point the article raises. Too much validation can actually be, well, a bad thing.
Wait, really? I thought it was always good to be supportive and encouraging.
It is, but imagine someone constantly showering you with praise. Like, for every little thing you say, it can start to feel, I don't know, disingenuous.
Yeah, like they're more focused on impressing you than actually listening to you.
You got it. So the article suggests a more balanced approach. Instead of just saying, "That's amazing" to everything, try adding a playful tease or a genuine question. Keep the conversation dynamic.
So if she says she loves to skydive, instead of just saying, "Wow, that's so brave," you could say something like, "Skydiving. You're like a real-life superhero. What's your superpower?"
That's the spirit. Inject some humor, some curiosity. Don't be afraid to, challenge her playfully. It shows you're engaging with her as an equal, not just trying to win her over.
Right. It's all about that genuine connection. Okay, this is making me rethink my entire approach to conversations.
I know, it's fascinating, right?
It's not just about the words themselves, it's about the underlying message you're sending.
Exactly. And that leads us to the final point in this section, which is asking instead of assuming.
Okay, I'm curious about this one. What's wrong with, asking for what you want?
Nothing in principle, but phrasing your desires as hesitant questions can subtly undermine your confidence.
Give me an example.
Sure. So instead of asking, "Would you maybe like to go out sometime?" the article recommends stating your intention more directly. Like, "I'd love to take you out for coffee this week. Are you free Thursday evening?"
So it's about confidently leading the interaction. instead of passively, waiting for permission.
Exactly. It shows you're comfortable taking the initiative, which can be, well, incredibly attractive.
Wow, this is already giving me so much to think about. It's like we're uncovering these hidden patterns in communication that can really make all the difference.
Absolutely. And we've only just scratched the surface. All right. So let's move beyond words now and get into the realm of, nonverbal cues, those subtle signals that you're sending without even realizing it.
So we're talking body language now. I've always heard it's important, but I've never really, understood how much it actually matters.
It matters more than you might think. This article we're looking at, it claims that nonverbal communication can account for up to 93% of the message you're sending.
93%, wow. So what I say, barely even makes a dent compared to, how I stand, how I look at her, all that stuff.
Exactly. Things like eye contact, your posture, the speed at which you talk, it all plays a role.
Okay, let's break those down one by one. What's the magic formula for eye contact? Should I be, staring intensely into her soul the whole time?
Definitely not. Intense staring is, well, it can be a little creepy. The article suggests finding a balance, maintaining eye contact while you're speaking shows you're confident and engaged, but looking away occasionally is natural and prevents things from, feeling too intense.
Right, yeah. It's like that feeling when someone's eyes are glued to you. Even when you look away, you start to wonder if they're ever going to blink.
Right. It's about finding that sweet spot between engagement and giving her space to breathe.
Okay, that makes sense. What about posture then?
Well, the article emphasizes standing tall with, relaxed shoulders, open chest.
So basically, channel my inner superhero. Shoulders back, chest out, ready to save the day.
You got it. Slouching or crossing your arms can make you appear, closed off or insecure. But good posture, well, it projects confidence and puts you at ease.
Oh. I never really thought about it that way, but it makes sense. Like when someone shrinks back or avoids making eye contact, it makes me wonder if they're, trying to disappear.
And the opposite is also true. When someone stands tall and owns their presence, well, it's magnetic.
Okay, posture check.
Yeah.
What about talking speed? Should I be channeling my inner auctioneer or going for that, slow, sultry voice?
Neither extreme is ideal. Rushing your words can make you seem nervous, while speaking too slowly can, drain the energy from the conversation. Aim for a natural pace that allows you to clearly articulate your thoughts and express yourself with enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's like finding the right tempo in a song. Too fast and it's overwhelming, too slow and it, loses its momentum.
That's a great analogy. And this brings us to a concept that's both subtle and incredibly powerful: detachment.
Detachment. Okay, that sounds a little intense. We're talking about emotionally shutting down?
Not at all. It's about releasing the need to control the outcome of the interaction, not getting so caught up in, wanting her to like you that you end up sabotaging yourself.
So it's about being present and enjoying the conversation for what it is, regardless of whether it leads to, a date or a phone number.
You got it. The article argues that true confidence comes from being, comfortable in your own skin, regardless of the outcome.
That makes a lot of sense. When I'm too focused on getting a specific result, I tend to overthink everything and just come across as less genuine.
Exactly. When you detach from the need to impress, you can relax, be yourself, and let the interaction, unfold naturally.
So it's about shifting your mindset from, I hope she likes me, to let's have an interesting conversation to see where it goes.
That's the spirit. And this mindset shift actually applies to so many areas of life, not just romantic interactions. When you release the need to control everything, you open yourself up to new possibilities and new experiences.
Okay, I'm digging this detachment concept. It's about being present, authentic, and open to whatever unfolds. But doesn't that kind of contradict the advice about being confident and taking the initiative?
It's not about being passive. It's about finding that sweet spot between leading the interaction and being okay if it doesn't go exactly as planned. Think of it like surfing. You paddle out with intention, you catch a wave, but you can't control the ocean.
So you're saying you can steer the ship, but you got to be ready for those unexpected turns.
Exactly. And speaking of unexpected turns, there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to discuss. It involves finding that delicate balance between, giving and withholding validation.
Okay, this sounds intriguing. Break it down for me.
It's about not being too eager to please. Constantly showering a woman with compliments and agreeing with everything she says can make you, predictable.
Like a yes man who's lost his own voice.
Precisely. The article suggests that women are drawn to men who, maintain a healthy sense of self and aren't afraid to challenge them playfully.
So it's about finding that push and pull, that playful banter that keeps things interesting.
You got it. Instead of always seeking approval, try injecting some humor, a little bit of teasing, and even, a touch of disagreement. Spark that dynamic energy.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say she tells you she's a huge fan of reality TV. Instead of just saying, oh, that's cool, you could say something like, reality TV, really? I guess everyone has their guilty pleasures.
So you're acknowledging her statement, but also throwing in a playful jab to keep her on her toes.
Exactly. It shows you're not afraid to express your own opinions and that you're not just, trying to win her approval. You're engaging with her as an equal, which can be incredibly attractive.
Wow, this is making me realize just how much goes on beneath the surface of a conversation. It's like we're decoding the secret language of attraction.
And we've only just begun to scratch the surface. There's so much more to explore when it comes to building genuine connections and understanding the dynamics of attraction.
Well, listeners, it seems we have a lot more ground to cover in this deep dive. Stay with us as we wrap up our exploration of this fascinating topic and uncover even more insights and actionable tips. All right, we're back and ready to kind of wrap things up here in our deep dive into the, world of attraction and communication. Feels like we've been on this quest to decode those subtle signals, the things that make all the difference.
Yeah, and the treasure we've uncovered here is that authenticity is key. It's not about following some script or trying to be someone you're not. It's about letting your true self, shine through.
So all those tips and tricks we've been talking about, they're kind of useless if you're not coming from a genuine place.
Not useless, but they work better. They're amplified when you're being true to yourself. Think of it like trying to sell a product you don't believe in. No matter how, smooth your sales pitch is, people can sense that lack of authenticity.
Yeah, it's like, trying to force a connection that isn't really there. People can smell a fake a mile away.
Right. But when you genuinely believe in what you're saying and you're comfortable in your own skin, well, that confidence, it's contagious.
So how do we translate all this into actionable advice for our listeners? What are the key takeaways they can, walk away with?
First and foremost, communication is a two-way street. It's not just about delivering the perfect line. It's about being a good listener and engaging with her in a way that shows you're genuinely interested.
And don't be afraid to, inject some personality into the conversation, a little humor, a bit of teasing, even a touch of disagreement can go a long way.
Right. It's about finding that sweet spot between being respectful and being playful.
And of course, we can't forget about those nonverbal cues, right?
Yeah.
They're just as important as the words you use.
Absolutely. Stand tall, make eye contact, let your body language reflect your confidence and, your ease.
It's about projecting that I'm comfortable being me vibe.
You got it. And perhaps most importantly, remember that attraction is, it's a complex dance. There's no magic formula, no guaranteed outcome. The best you can do is be your most authentic self and, enjoy the ride.
Let go of the need to control everything, embrace the unknown, and trust that the right connections will unfold naturally.
Well said. And remember, even small changes in your communication style can have a ripple effect. So pay attention to those subtle cues, experiment with different approaches, and most importantly, have fun with it.
Well, that's a wrap on our deep dive into the art of attraction and communication. We hope you've gained some valuable insights today and maybe even a few laughs along the way.
It's been a pleasure exploring these dynamics with you.
And remember, the most important connection you'll ever make is the one with yourself. Embrace your unique qualities, stay curious, and keep those conversations flowing. Until next time.